everyone, I'm Lynn with Psychic Focus at psychicfocus.blogspot.com, and I realize I'm not in my normal office today, but hopefully this works out all right. You'll have to let me know what you think of how this video works. I'm trying to do this with my phone. I'm thinking it might make better audio and video, so you have to let me know. So anyway, I want to go ahead with my topic today, and the topic is 5G and the beer bug. They've started to basically censor anything that talks about any kind of illnesses that are going around. So I have to change my words and use my spelling very creatively to avoid being flagged. So I think we all know where we're going with this. So let me go ahead with the question. It says, hi, Lynn, there's many reports out there that CV is linked to 5G. Many people are even getting so far as to claim that there's no CV and it's all caused by 5G radiation. Perhaps this would deserve a reading of its own. One common belief is that the quarantine and imposed curfew in many countries was made so 5G can candidly be installed in schools and workplaces without anybody noticing. Also, it's been pointed out that Wuhan in China is a 5G hotspot, which may have weakened the immune system of its residents and made the virus look more dangerous than it really is. Also, flu-like symptoms caused by 5G may be blamed on CV in order to inflate and bolster the stats, which may be used as an argument for even more draconian measures. In Sweden, there's been reports of sudden, seemingly unmotivated cut down trees in public spaces, even in the middle of the night, which may also tie in with 5G as trees block the radiation. On top of that, some experts have suggested that 5G radiation may mutate the virus, make it even more dangerous. In Sweden, there's been reports of radiation from non-5G base stations increasing recently as well, which may be weakening people's immune systems. Where do you see all this leading, the pandemic as well as 5G? Do you see 5G ultimately being scrapped and shut down all over the world, which has already happened in Austria, and in the region of Genevieve and Switzerland? So parts of Europe are starting to even question this and wonder, what are the health ramifications of this? How does this relate to the pandemic? And what is the ultimate game plan of the PTW and all this? And I thought this was such a great question. And I've heard this theory before, so I was kind of eager to look into it because I was curious what I could get to come forward. And when I looked at this and the impacts of 5G on the virus, I get there's two separate things really going on fundamentally. This viral bioweapon was intentionally an act that served many purposes, but it's different than a 5G wave technology. And I did a previous reading and a post about the real intent, and I have a link to it on my blog itself. And I do see that 5G impacts the immune system in a negative way, and it looks like intense waves from 5G create a situation where there's an abundance of free radicals in the body, and the immune system has to work overtime to purge these free radicals. So when the immune system is essentially distracted, it can't use its resources to combat other things such as infections and viruses. So your immune system is being beat up because it's dealing with other toxins created from all of these different waves that are interfering into your body and creating a toxic environment. So when this virus is introduced into the body, the immune support doesn't look to be available or efficient to kill the virus. The overall impact is people with compromised immune systems or overly sensitive people to the 5G have a harder time fighting the illness because there's two things going on versus just one. If it was just a virus, your immune system would go and hammer it out. If it was just the 5G stuff, your system would go in there, purge it out, and try to rid it from your body. But when you have two things, it dilutes it, so it can't work as hard on one versus having to diversify. And I don't see that 5G is in any way really good for the human body. Some countries have taken more compassionate stance and wish to further test this, but I see some being very resistant. It almost seems like some would rather not test to avoid admitting what the newest, latest, and greatest technology is really doing. It's almost like, well, if there's not a test and we can't prove it, then so be it, right? There's a lot of money to be made with the implementation of 5G and also a huge amount of control that they can impose on a population as this tool can be converted to a weapon if need be. The installation of 5G, especially in a stealthy way, is about control of government, not really tied to the introducing a bioweapon. So it's like there's two separate things going on, but they had the intentional bioweapon release, but then they also have this 5G that doesn't necessarily help the body fight this off. So the PTW, the powers that were that I talk about all the time, they're just trying to gain control from whatever angle they can. I see that the virus is about spreading fear and buying them more time. And this has created an enormous distraction, but they can only keep this up so long. That was really all I had for this reading. So I'd be curious your thoughts on the 5G and the virus, or what you know, or maybe you live in a hotspot or an area, how it's impacted you. I'd love to hear a comment from somebody out there who's maybe had some firsthand experience with all this. And again, I'm Lynn with Psychic Focus at psychicfocus.blogspot.com. Thank you. Bye.